Welcome back to Building a Home with Heart, and welcome to my kitchen. Today we're talking about a prepper pantry. One of the reasons I decided to share my pantry with you today is I have decided to participate in Jessica from Three River Homestead's food challenge of not buying any groceries for the month of January and February. Now, I do not live on a homestead. I'm new to this house, so I'm not growing a lot of the food that I consume. So I do rely heavily on the grocery store, farmers markets. I do have my beef and pork delivered to me from California farm. So it has been a process for me to build up my food pantry. So I am going to use this challenge not only to hopefully save some money, but really to see how far my pantry foods will get me if something were to happen, if my husband lost a job, if there was a natural disaster, if there were food supply issues, any of those things that might prevent us from getting food. How long could we truly not only survive but thrive on what I have in the pantry? The nice thing about Jessica's challenge is that you can write your own rules. Obviously for me, I don't have a milk cow for dairy products. I don't have, like I said, a garden at this time for fresh produce. So I am allowing myself a $50 budget, and that is for produce and dairy. I will not be purchasing anything that I would use in a recipe other than those two things. And I also am going to continue my $10 a week stock up budget. But what I'm going to do with that, and basically what that means is that every week I allow myself $10 in my grocery budget to buy excess things that we need to stock up on, whether it be dried beans or canned foods or frozen vegetables or extra meat when it's on sale. I have a $10 per week budget that goes just for that. It's aside from what we're going to use in the weeks to come. So I'm going to continue with that, and what I'm going to do so that I don't use those things as part of the challenge, I'm going to write the date on the cans. I'm going to write the dates when I freeze the meat so that I know that is not to be used during the challenge time. Hope that doesn't sound too complicated, but I thought it would be a good test for me to see how I do. So I'm going to show you your pantry, and tying this all into biblical womanhood, which I told you that I was going to do. We are told in Proverbs 31 that part of our role as the keeper of our home is to make sure that we plan ahead, that our family is not going to be in want in the days to come. So that is the reason that I keep extra pantry food, a prepper pantry, if you will, because I think it is the biblical and wise thing to do. None of us knows what the future might hold. So with that introduction, let me show you my food pantry, and then I'm going to show you how I use up things that are left over. Today I have 3 bananas and some sour cream that I need to get used up. So I'm going to show you how I use those before they go bad. So with all that being said, let's get to showing you my pantry, and then we're going to do a little baking. Now keep in mind, as I show you my pantry, we just moved in a month ago, so it is extremely well organized. I have been diligent about trying to keep it this way. The miscellaneous stuff on the top is that stuff that I don't get to very often. As you can see, I load up on tomato-based products. I have quite a few soups. I actually could probably use some more. These are all my canned beans and canned meat, tuna, spices. We do have rice stored and cereal. This box is actually our snack box. My grandsons know and granddaughters know exactly where to go for that. Excess oils. Down on the bottom is my bulk storage. The top is pretty much what we're going to use. So each of these totes is filled with some sort of long-term storage item. These are just my everyday use pasta, but I also have on the bottom extra pastas. I keep my onions and garlic and potatoes down here. That tote is full of rice. I have extra vinegars, both regular and apple cider. This tote here on the bottom is full of my excess flour, and it is all stored by date. So as I pull one out, I will purchase one at the store. And if I do that during this challenge period, I will make the date big so that I know that I cannot use that during the 2 months of this challenge. And that will hopefully tell me that, you know what, you need more flour stored. Then I have back here the same thing. Those are my pastas, and then behind that I have my sugars in the same kind of totes. Those are my long-term storage. Now I don't store for 20 years for any kind of apocalyptic kind of thing happening. I store so that we will be okay in the event that we have to go even up to a month without any food coming in. These are things that I've canned myself. Next year, I want this to be more things that I've canned myself and less things from the store, but I'm working on that. I have some sour cream that I just have a very little bit on the bottom that I need to use up. It's about to go bad and it's too little to use for anything else. I also have some bananas that need to be used, so you know what that means, banana bread. I know we all have our favorite banana bread recipes, but the one I am using today requires just a little bit of sour cream, and I have found that by adding just a couple of tablespoons up to a quarter cup of sour cream to any sweetbread recipe, you just get just a little bit moister cake. It has just a little bit of a tangy flavor to it. I really like it. I will link this particular banana bread recipe in the description, but I would invite you just to try adding the sour cream to any of your favorite sweetbread recipes. I always like to get my bananas smashed up first, and then I'll just set them to the side and get all of the dry ingredients put together. This one calls for 2 cups of flour, a teaspoon of baking soda, a half a teaspoon of salt, and then just set that to the side. Mix those all together, and then you're just going to set them to the side for later. To your banana mixture, you're going to add your butter that has been melted. I like to let it cool down a little bit just so that I don't end up with scrambled eggs. You're going to toss in that egg and your vanilla, and then you're going to mix your wet ingredients together. To those wet ingredients, you're going to add your sour cream. And like I said, I will go anywhere from a couple of tablespoons up to a quarter cup. I don't think I would go much more than that, but it's a great way to use up just that last little bit of sour cream that you really don't have any other purpose to use, and you just don't want to throw it away. And just mix in that sour cream. To that sour cream, we're going to add our sugar. And then just mix it till all that sugar is incorporated into your liquid ingredients. And then we'll go ahead and add all the dry ingredients we set aside just a little bit at a time, because we all know when you throw it all in, it makes a great big mess. So just a little bit at a time helps you not only avoid that, but incorporate the flour into the liquid just a little bit better. You're just going to continue this till you've used all of your dry ingredients and you have a nice consistent batter. I always like to switch over to a spatula at the end just to make sure that I get all of that flour that might be stuck on the bottom of my bowl. The wonderful thing about banana bread is that it can become banana nut, banana chocolate chip, banana whatever you want it to be. I've added peanut butter chips to it. It's all delicious. In any case, it's about a half a cup of whatever chip that you want to add and a half a cup of nuts. Today I'm using chocolate chips and some pecans I have left over from my holiday baking. Just chop those nuts up as fine as you want them and add them to the batter, and once again mix away. Once it's all mixed up, you're going to just pour it all into a buttered loaf dish. Once you get all the batter out of the bowl and into your baking dish, go ahead and smooth it down as much as you can before you put it in a 350 degree preheated oven for 1 hour. Trust me when I say this is one time patience is a virtue. This bread was delicious.